What's up, y'all? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 14, episode 13. And let me just say this, y'all. The fake outrage, I can't. I can't do it. The hypocrisy and the double standards that are happening online right now. I can't. I can't. But we're going to talk about it. So let's get into this video. So y'all know normally most of my videos have a spicy corner, and I do have things I want to talk to y'all about, but it's a lot of stuff. So I decided to do a separate video. So please be on the lookout for that. If I finish it before this video processes, I'll link it in the description box below. All right, y'all. So let's talk about this episode. My apologies in advance if I do a lot of this or I start sniffling and all that stuff. I woke up with a stuffy nose and I've been blowing my nose all day. Nothing is coming out, and I keep like snorting and all that stuff because I don't know. My nose, it feels like my nose is running, but it's not. It's weird. It's so weird. It's so weird, bro. But I know some people get grossed out by that, so my bad. So let's talk about it. So the episode opens up and we see Erica on FaceTime with her mom. I'm excited to see what like the before and after pictures of Erica's home, because I want to know what she did with the other two rooms, because to tell her mom that they're going to have to share the bed when she comes and visit is kind of crazy to me, because I'm like, you have two other rooms. I know one of the rooms was being turned into a closet, like her glam room, but I was like, what is the other room being turned into? It's not like a spare bedroom or an office space. And if so, it should be big enough to where you could put a blow-up bed in there for people when they come visit. Mind you, if you need a good blow-up bed, always get a camping style blow-up bed. They're heavy duty, like they're not indestructible, but it takes a lot from them to tear, and they normally have like platforms with them. So if you don't like getting up and getting off, like, off the ground, you can get one that you can raise up, because when you sleeping out in the wild, you shouldn't be sleeping on the ground. Next scene we see is of Jennifer Tilly. She's at this place called Caviar Catastrophe. That's one of her and Sutton's favorite places to go. They have the restaurant in America, and then one overseas in Paris. And so she wants to have a caftan and caviar party. Jennifer Tilly had me giggling when she was like, honestly, I just ordered the most expensive caviar on the menu because it's expensive, so it got to be good. I just know the cheap one is the one that they put on top of sushi. It's the orange one. That's the one I can afford, and that's the one I eat. But honestly, caviar isn't like that big of a deal to me, if you know what I mean. Like when I was younger and I would see people eat it like on TV shows or in movies, and when I was able to try like expensive caviar at like a really nice restaurant, I was like, oh, this ain't all that. like it's okay. It's like, it's not like an acquired taste. It's like, it's okay, but it's not. I think my mind was like, okay, rich people, it must be good. It has to be. And then I was like, oh, that's it. All right. But I do think the combination, because we find out that Caviar Catastrophe is known for double baked potatoes, which sounds so good, with loads of caviar on top of it. And I'm like, well, caviar does have like a salty taste, and then you put that on top of a crispy baked potato with some butter. That's probably fire right there. Okay. But Jennifer wants to have a caviar and caftan party, so everybody's invited. We find out that she was overseas at a Dolce & Gabbana fashion show. Her and Sutton have really good relationships with the people that work over there. She also talks about how like she likes to buy jewelry from them, but she puts it on layaway, and I giggled at that because it's kind of crazy to hear somebody that has so much money put things on layaway, but why not? If you won't put yourself into debt and you could just pay something off, I would do that too. She still got a bunch of money. You know what I mean? So, I really do like Jennifer Tilly. Like, she just seems like a down to earth person. Like, she's kooky, she's wacky, but she really does seem like she will, like, you would have like a fun time hanging out with her. And like, she probably will tell you some good tea too. I know she know a lot of gossip and tea. I would love to listen to the tea she got about what goes on in Hollywood. Okay. But Sutton pulls up, to the restaurant, and they sit down. Jennifer gives her this cute little, like, I called it like a jewelry dish because it was only about like this big, but it was like white, kind of remind me like fine china with like the calligraphy and the beautiful paintings and stuff like that on it. And they talk about that. So then Sutton catches Jennifer Tilly up on what happened at the 4th of July party. So she's like, pretty much, Garcelle ends up asking me, like, girl, like, what do you have in your drink? Like, what are you drinking? And I'm like, oh, it's some like watermelon thing. It's light and refreshing. And then she asked me, like, does it have alcohol in it? And I was like, well, yeah, I think it does. So then Dorit turns to her and is like, well, did you just ask Sutton, did her, like what she was drinking, like, does it have alcohol in it? And Garcelle's like, yeah. And she's like, of course. It's like, pretty much, it's basically insinuating, like, of course it would have alcohol in it. It's Sutton. And so Sutton said, I basically said, girl, F you. F you. I like, I called, like, well, she didn't tell her she called her a B, but I think it was implied because she was like, so you left after that? And she was like, yeah. And so basically she was just like, Dorita's the one that started this whole drinking rumor. She did not. It was Kyle. Kyle was the one that was like, I didn't know if you were mixing pills and alcohol together. And then her friend at the time, Dorit, picked up that bone and kept running with it when she mentioned the whole, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Sutton put vodka in her coffee. And Crystal was the one that ran back and told you, girl, they saying that you mixing vodka in your coffee and you mixing pills and alcohol. And so Sutton is irritated because she's just like, I understand what she's trying to insinuate about me, and I'm not about to sit here and play this game with her. And so she basically said, I left. And so Jennifer Tilly's like, so the first time you guys are going to meet each other is going to be at my party. And she said, pretty much. Yeah, at the caviars and caftans, okay? And Jennifer Tilly's like, oh God, okay. So the next scene we see is with Kyle and her life coach, Jamie. And it's hard to feel bad for Kyle in this moment, although I could relate to her when she says that she's anxious and getting impatient about like what the future holds for her. And I was like, I'm currently in that moment right now. I'm in that season, like the old people like to say. But it's hard to feel bad for her when it comes to the relationship with Mauricio, because one, she won't tell us what he did or if he did anything at all. And two, the way she behaved last season, it felt like you wanted this divorce. Like he was trying to connect with you. He was asking like, hey, can we do this together? Can we go on a trip together? Can we do that? And you kept telling him you had other things to do. And it feels like now you're having like buyer's remorse because he's out here living his best life, not fighting for you. Because she ends up saying in this therapy session that she expected him to fight for her or try to fix what was going on in their marriage. And she was like, I don't know if he didn't know how to or if he didn't want to. Like, she was like, I don't know which one is worse. But I'm like, we saw him trying with you last season and you kind of didn't care. And I just feel like, girl, you were gallivanting around town with Morgan so much so that most of the people who are fans of this show think either you're a closet lesbian or a closet bisexual. Like, you got matching tattoos with the lady. She allowed you to tattoo her. On top of that, y'all did that music video that gave very much, this is my girlfriend. You were the love interest of the video and y'all kissed. Like, it's kind of like, girl, and then you're being so coy and like not honest about like what the relationship really is, that it does feel like you're hiding something. And I just wish Kyle would just be honest with herself and just realize that like the season of this relationship is over. I felt bad when she started crying in the confessional about how she didn't want to be a single mother because of the relationship she had with Big Kathy and how she saw her mom struggle. On top of that, she always wanted to have a family unit, and she took big pride in how long her relationship like lasted. And I'm like, you should still take pride in that. Like, having a relationship that lasted at least like 30 something years is a big accomplishment. Just because you both didn't die married to each other doesn't mean that it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? But she is like getting emotional. She talks about how Mauricio's out here living his best life. And I love that the therapist was like, you could be doing the same. But it seems like Kyle wants to leave the door open, because she then talks about how she's like, but what if I meet somebody and I'm like really into this guy? And then Mauricio ends up being like, he sold his wild oats and now he wants to come back. What does that matter? If you're with somebody else who makes you happy, then why not stay with that person? Why would you leave the door open for Mauricio? It's not making sense anymore, Kyle, because it definitely felt like last season you were ready to leave him. Like, you were ready to be through with that relationship. But now that like things are different and you're starting to see him enjoy his life, you have an issue. And I feel like maybe she felt like he was going to be downtrodden and out here, like, what's the word? Yeah, that's downtrodden. But no, like Mauricio out here on the ski slopes, he going overseas, he having a good time in his bachelor pad. It's like he really doesn't owe you anything, in the sense of like, your kids are good and grown now. Like Portia's about to be going to college, so it's like he can have his own relationships with his daughters beyond y'all being a family unit. And I think it's tripping Kyle out because she didn't expect him to be able to move on so quickly, or move on and be happy to like not be around her. I think she was hoping that like the distance would make them want to get closer, but nah. So now she's talking about how she knows now it's time for her to, like, I guess, move on. But I'm like, you should have been did that last season when you was like I said, around town gallivanting with Morgan. The next scene we have is with Bose, and we meet the fertility doctor, Dr. Cindy. Bose is in her kitchen cutting flowers, talking about, these flowers need to be tall like my future babies. And then she's like, oh, Keely's and I future babies. I'm starting to feel like this is a fake storyline. I'm getting irritated because this was not needed. The same way with Stacy and TJ. This is like. Bose and Keely are starting to give me is Stacy and TJ energy. So we meet the doctor, like I said, Dr. Cindy. She has an ultrasound technician with her to do the ultrasound at Bose's house. Bose is like, I do everything, in my house. I get waxed, get my hair done, get my nails done. I used to think that was like very luxurious, but I like being able to leave my home, and like get an experience somewhere else. Like, it's an experience to get your hair washed at like, a hair salon. It's an experience to go to the nail salon and get your nails done. It's an experience to go to the wax lady. Like, I think the only one that I probably would like to do is like, getting massages at home are nice, or doing the wax at the house. But everything else I probably would want to do like in a nice establishment. You know what I mean? But the lady comes over, and before Keely gets there, they have a conversation. We find out that both Eve, her daughter that she mentioned last episode, and how do you say her? I always blank on her daughter's name sometimes. Lael, Lael, were both born prematurely, and so she had her first daughter at 32, and I guess the other one maybe would be like, I don't know how quickly she got pregnant after that, but she was just kind of like, it's not easy to have a baby. People think it's easy when you're like in your 20s and in your 30s and all of that stuff, but like complications can always happen, and she's not lying. So she's sitting there talking to the doctor, and she's like, I'm 47, Keely's 48, and then she's just kind of like, I just want to know, what are my chances? Because pregnancy is a scary thing. And I think that's the part that's irritating a lot of people with this storyline is you keep saying that you're scared to do this. Pregnancy is scary, but yet you want to have these kids. And I'm like, you make all of this money. Why not just get a surrogate? Like, if you really just want a baby and you want Keely to be the daddy, but you have the understanding that he might not be around, why not go to a surrogacy center, take your egg, Keely's sperm, that, make an embryo, implant it in somebody, pay that lady for her time for them 6 months, and have your baby that way. It's very simple. You've already carried 2 kids already. I don't think you need to put your body through that stress again of carrying a third child, especially at 48 years old, because now she's 48 because she just had a birthday. So then we hear Keely knocking at the door, and I'm like, if he's supposed to be the love of your life, why does he need to knock at the door? Like, he should have a key. He should know he could come up in that house. But you hear him knocking at the door. It was very awkward when they saw each other. Like, he had like a delayed reaction. So I don't know if she said something, gave him a look. It was weird. And even when he sat down, it didn't feel like we together type energy, you know what I mean? So they talk to the lady. She basically tells them after the age of 45, you have a 2% or less chance of getting pregnant. And I said, and girl, you're 48 now. What we doing? What are we doing? So they actually go upstairs, they do the ultrasound, and they look at these, like, I think she calls them like egg cages or something. But like they look at her ovary, and it has one, and it has like four eggs on them. And that's a pretty good thing for her, because the doctor ends up saying that pretty much when you are over the age of like 40, most people only have like 0 to 6 eggs pretty much left, and Bose at least has 4. So now they can start planning for what they want to do. I don't know. I just hope this storyline is fake, because I just think this is stupid. I don't understand, again, putting yourself through this type of trauma when you don't really have to. If it is that important for you and that man to have a baby, get a surrogate. You make enough money to pay a surrogate a nice good fee and call it a day. That's just me. But I will say I do like this new confessional with Bose. As the hair looks way better. The hair looks way better in this one, and she does look really pretty in all black. The next scenes we have is of Dorit and Sutton getting ready for the caftan caviar party. Dorit has the energy of like, I want to have a good time. I don't want no stress. I don't want no drama. Sutton is getting ready, basically like she down for whatever, and if anybody want to get it, they can get it from her. That's her energy. She ends up calling Dorit poor Reed in the confessionals when she was like, poor Reed probably would have paid like buy the cheapest caviar. When I tell you I hit the Jasmine Masters. Oh, I said, poor Reed. I said, Sutton. And I mean, that's not even like an elevated dig on somebody, but I just didn't expect her to say it. So I was just like, oh my God, girl, for real. So while we get away from that, we see Bose and Dorit in the car together. They're talking about Sutton and how they feel like they need to hold her accountable for her behavior at the 4th of July party. Bose ends up saying she wished Sutton would have stayed at the 4th of July party and not left, because we find out in a flashback that Kyle and Garcelle basically let them know how emotional the Augusta trip was. Basically telling them about how her relationship is with her mother, as well as how they visited the house where her dad shot his brains out. Okay, the same father that was on pills and alcohol when he did it. So they're in the car, and then Dorit ends up saying, like, I just didn't expect Sutton to react that way, and I just feel like she wanted a reason to leave. You didn't want her to begin with. You said yourself that you weren't expecting these two first, i.e. Kyle and Sutton, and you basically didn't really want them there. Production forced you to invite them to your house. On top of that, you had that lady waiting in the lobby for 40 minutes or in your den area for 40 minutes until somebody came to greet her. You already started off with the energy of not wanting her there. So she didn't really need a big reason to leave your house. So Dorit ends up saying that she feels like Sutton's behavior is inconsistent, because one minute she could be empathetic, kind, and giving and all of that stuff. And on the other hand, she said Sutton can be mean, cruel, and malicious. And I don't disagree. I feel like Sutton did herself a disservice starting off with this sisterhood stuff, because none of these people, maybe with the exception of Garcelle and Jennifer Tilly, you need to be in a sisterhood with, because they keep throwing that in her face when she has moments where she kind of like blows up. But then I'm also like, y'all are using that as a dig towards her. Why would she then continue to move forward with y'all that way? Bose has thrown it in her face. Kyle threw it in her face. Erica threw it in her face. Dorit has thrown it in her face. Y'all have said it multiple times that y'all feel like she's not the person to lead the charge for the sisterhood. So why are y'all trying to hold her to it when y'all don't think she is worthy of even being in sisterhood with? That's stupid to me. On top of that, I don't know in what world does Dorit and Bose need to hold Sutton accountable. Bose can't even hold Dorit accountable. On the after show, girl, Bose has yet to tell Dorit, questioning this lady's sobriety after we know now about her past childhood trauma or her adult trauma with her father. Stop making those digs. It's mean. It's wrong. But you're supposed to hold this lady accountable. On top of that, who is Dorit to hold anybody accountable? Has Dorit ever sincerely apologized to all the people she was nasty towards? You didn't apologize to Crystal for the child bride comment. You didn't apologize to Denise for the shit that happened with Kyle and everyone trying to out that lady. Like, you didn't apologize to Lisa Vanderpump, the person that got you and your fraudulent husband on this show. Like, When have you ever held your own self accountable? And why do you think you can hold Sutton accountable? And I'm not saying that there aren't things that Sutton needs to be held accountable for, but these two women are not the ones to do it. Not in my opinion. So it's time for the caftan party. Jennifer Tilly has on her caftan. She is studded in all types of jewelry. Okay, all types of jewels. Trips going into the building because the caftan is normally long. They have a nice setup. We end up seeing a couple of her friends, and I was like, okay, cool. So this is just not a Beverly, like, Beverly Hills cast party. This is a Beverly Hills cast party in conjunction with Jennifer Tilly's friends. So we meet her friends. I'm mad she told all that lady's business. I think her friend, like Diana or something, basically was telling, Diana type of girl to take her shirt off and jump in the pool. I don't know if Miss Diana wanted everybody to know that she go topless easily. Jennifer just telling that lady business. So then we see Erica get there. She is admiring all of the jewels and the stuff. I mean, it was very gaudy, but it gave expensive. It gave luxury. That all the stuff that Jennifer Tilly has on. Erica says she likes Jennifer Tilly. She thinks she's so much fun and so chic and stylish, and she doesn't understand why she's friends with Sutton. So, I feel like Erica needs to let go of her grudge with Sutton. The whole, like, I don't know why Jennifer Tilly is friends with Sutton. Clearly, they have things in common and they like each other. But I feel like Erica is holding on to this grudge with Sutton, and it doesn't make sense at this point because you have forgiven everybody else who talked negatively about you behind your back, mind you, about the whole case with Tom and you. Because I'll give Sutton this, at least she said it to your face. At least she pressed you to your face. And also, she's the only person on that cast who offered to give you a loan, which I think she definitely would have gave you, and also offered to give you like legal services if you needed it. So I just think it's like, Erica, you still mad at her about what happened like a couple of seasons ago. And granted, everybody was on your neck, but rightfully so. Your husband, and a lot of people feel like you knew about it, was stealing from burn victims, widows, and children. And you just thought everybody was just going to be like, it's okay. We're not going to ask you any questions about Tom Girardi, one of the biggest lawyers in LA. A movie was made about him, a well-known movie. What I think Julia Roberts in it. Like, people were going to ask you about this case, and you weren't honest, and you were very nasty when people actually challenged you about your opinion. And granted, I understood you were taking care of yourself, and you didn't care about nobody else but yourself. But you should also understand that everybody else was looking out for themselves too, because nobody want their name tarnished because they decide to be friends with somebody stealing from children, burn victims, and widows. Like, don't nobody want their reputation ruined off of you. Who are you? So we then see a conversation between Garcelle, because Garcelle is there now. We see the morally corrupt Faye Resnick and Kathy get there. And so Garcelle and Erica are talking, and Garcelle says she didn't think Sutton was that pissed, but then she realized, like, no, she is pissed off. And Erica was like, well, maybe we'll figure out how to, like, work things out here at the party. So then in another car, we see Sutton, Kyle, and Kyle's assistant / friend Jen in the car. So Kyle is like, oh girl, did you hear like Sutton tell her about what happened with you and Dorit the other day? So Sutton basically said, girl, I waited like 30 minutes while I was looking at the babysitters club because all them people over there were like 14 years old. And they were like, and the personal assistant was like, she had you waiting for 30 minutes? She was like, yeah, 30 minutes. And Kyle's laughing, and she's just like, and Sutton is like, what, you want me to be nice? Because I'm not going to be nice. This is not nice, Sutton. Because what else am I supposed to do? So then I think in the confessional, Sutton said, clearly there's obvious reasons why Dorit has issues with people, because clearly there's people in this group that don't have, like, they're not living the lifestyle that the rest of us are living. So back at the caviar party, we see everyone admiring all of, the gaudy jewelry Jennifer Tilly has on, and she's like, this is Balmain, this is Bulgaria, this is, and like Faye Resnick is like, girl, let me slide this ring off your finger for a minute. And they're all wearing it, and she's like, girl, I got it in Venice. Then we see Dorit and Bose get there. Then after them, like right after them, is Kyle, Sutton, and Kyle's friend. So then while they're all saying hi and everything, everyone's starting to notice that Dorit didn't wear a caftan. And so Garcelle, which I do like this confessional, Bose and Garcelle had good confessionals this time around. I said, okay. Garcelle has this confessional where she was like, does Chanel not make caftans? Because, girl, what? So everybody's in a caftan or something that's similar to a caftan. So then Dorit says, I think I missed a caftan memo. So then Sutton said, how could you miss that? And mind you, in the spicy corner, Jennifer Tilly was like, caftan and caviar were right beside each other. And I love the fact that she shaded Dorit's comprehension skills, because it pretty much means Dorit just didn't want to follow instructions. She didn't want to wear a caftan. And mind you, caftans are cheap. Maybe not the ones they had on, but if you go to Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, girl, they got a whole rack full of caftans. A whole rack, and they normally only like $14. Like, you just didn't want to do, like, you didn't want to wear one. Like, you didn't want to wear one. So then even like, so Sutton mocks Dorit in her confessional, like, is she stupid? And so then Dorit ends up saying she doesn't like caftans, and everyone's just gonna have to like deal with what she got on. The party continues, and we have this scene between Dorit and Sutton where Sutton orders water, and Dorit ends up being like, are you ordering water because of what happened at the 4th of July party between us? And Sutton looks at her like, no, I can't order water. So then Dorit was like, are you in a mood? And Sutton was like, you started with me. I ain't said much of nothing towards you. So then in the confessional, Sutton is like, she always bothering me. Like, she won't leave me alone. And they flash back to the whole Sutton's first season where she was like, let the mouse go, Dorit. You've had your fun. Let it go. Let it go. And after watching the after show, I think Dorit and Sutton have never been on the same page, because I think Sutton felt betrayed by Dorit when they had this moment back in 2020 when Dorit let it be known that Sutton said she was going to freak out, but the way that she said it was like she was about to like blow up on somebody. And I feel like that has always like bothered Sutton, because I think maybe she thought she could trust Dorit, but when she did that, I think it really like hurt her feelings. So Sutton is just kind of like, girl, leave me alone. So then Dorit ends up being like, oh, okay, I see, that's the Sutton I got today. And here's the thing. At this point, they were one for one. When Sutton looked at Dorit stupid and she was like, how could you miss that? I was like, that's strike one, Sutton, because you shouldn't even be talking to that lady. Like, if I was you, I would act like she doesn't even exist. Strike one for Dorit is this moment right here, because you just said in your glam, like when you were getting glam done, you didn't want any problems, but you're starting problems by questioning why that lady got water instead of an alcoholic drink, because you feel like you did something or you hurt her so bad that now she feels like she can't drink in front of you. Like, you starting off ready, like, leave the lady alone. So at this point, they was 2 for 2, because both of them should have just paid each other dust and kept it pushing. So then Jennifer Tilly was like, hey, everybody, let's all go sit down. They see a cue card with Anna Marie, and everybody's freaking out because they think Miss 8.5 waiting somewhere in the back corner. But then Jennifer Tilly's like, no, girl. No, that's my friend Anna Marie. I don't know that other lady y'all talking about. So they all get a laugh at it. As they're sitting there, it's kind of awkward. And then Faye Resnick brings up how Jennifer Tilly was either like nominated or honored for like an Oscar or a Golden Globe. I don't remember what they said she got honored for. But then we find out that her sister also has been nominated for the same award, or like, I think the same award, or just for an award in general from the same award show. And that's when Jennifer Tilly lets it be known her and her sister are the only 2 Chinese American siblings to ever be nominated. So then everyone's like, oh my God, we didn't know you was Chinese. For real, girl? And we find out that Jennifer Tilly's dad is Chinese. So as they're talking, Erica lets it be known that she's Native American. Mind you, did y'all see Kathy when the way Kathy leaned around the table when Jennifer Tilly said she was Chinese? I said, Kathy, if you try to start speaking Mandarin, I hope somebody pop you in the mouth. Talking about you from some Chinese dynasty and you ain't even done your ancestry. My goodness. So that's when we find out that Erica is like, I think 10% Native American, and everyone talks about how like they wanted to be Native American. No, Jennifer Tilly talks about how she wanted to be Native American because Cher was Native American. And then Erica's like, no, Cher was Armenian from the Valley. And everyone's like, for real? They're like, yes. I said, oh my God. I didn't care about what share was. I said, okay. So as the party continues, we then kind of have this awkward moment between Bose and Sutton, where Sutton is trying to playfully talk to Bose, where she was like, how many people do you have in you today? And Bose looked at her like, girl, how many people? It was the way that Bose was like, I think Bose was trying to register if it was offensive or not. Like, was she trying to be funny or shady or offensive? Because Bose is like, what do you, like, how many people? How many people? So then her confessional, Bose is like, I have myself. How many people do you have in your head talking to you? And so Sutton is like, well, Dorit ends up saying, like, who am I going to be today? So I was just saying, how many people do you have in you today? Now, I'm going to be honest, as much as I like Sutton, and they flash back to when Dorit said what she said, Sutton was kind of like, the way her eyes were going at that table, it was giving twitchy. Like, she was a little wired up. So I don't know if she didn't take, like, her, like, meds in the sense of, like, to calm herself down before doing this scene with everybody and coming to this event, or if she amped them up, because I can feel like Sutton probably didn't take a certain pill maybe to calm her down so she could be ready to say whatever she wanted to Dorit, because I do know some people who do take medication that's supposed to like mellow out their mood or help them with anxiety or depression. Sometimes they won't take it if they feel like they can't be all the way themselves or be all the way on for a situation, and I feel like that's what Sutton did, because she was kind of giving twitchy witchy, but I was kind of here for it, especially when her and Dorit started to get into it, because she was not backing down from her. And I said, girl, don't back down. So then Dorit was like, you still upset about that? And so Sutton is like, girl, back up off me. Like, back up off me. And so I think Erica says, y'all don't fight yet. Y'all gonna spoil lunch. The food's not even here yet. So then Dorit was like, cause Sutton's like, I need to say something to you, Dorit. So Dorit is like, oh, Sutton wants to have a moment. So she takes her knife and starts, ting-tinging on the glass. And so Sutton is like, I don't need to have a moment. I just want to let you know something. She was like, I came to your house for the 4th of July party. I came in peace, and I came bearing like flowers that I cut from my garden and champagne. You had me waiting for 30 minutes. On top of that, you tried to take my purse. So then Dorit was like, I was trying to be humorous. And then she laughs like, I can't be, so Dorit's like, God forbid I be humorous. Like, are you serious? And she's like, ha, like trying to make it like, trying to mock Sutton in a way. So then Sutton starts mocking her back like, ha ha, okay. And Garcelle said, oh my God. I said Garcelle. Station continues, where Sutton basically says, you holding on to my purse, it wasn't funny. On top of that, okay, you keep trying to insinuate I have a drinking problem when you was at your own party pouring vodka and some Coca-Cola, girl. Like, leave me alone. Stop picking at me. So then Dorita's like, well, why are you coming at me when Kyle said the same thing? And Sutton is like, well, Kyle apologized to me. You have not. So then Erica's like, no, I think she apologized. I was like, Erica, shut up and sit there and eat your caviar and be quiet. Because when they flash back, that lady didn't apologize to her at the reunion. Dorit doubled down on it, where she was asked, do you think Sutton has a drinking problem? And she was like, yes, I think Sutton drinks a lot, but I don't know if she has a drinking problem. And that's when someone was like, girl, you're ridiculous, especially you are Miss 3 carcass in, 3 carcass out, carcass all over the floor. So what are we doing? So then Sutton ends up being like, stop picking at me. Pick at somebody whose wallet it fits yours. So then everyone's like, what? And so then Erica was like, are you saying that you're bigger than her? And she was like, no, my wallet is. Now, some people feel like that was an out of place comment. I don't, because I think Sutton knows that Dorit's financial troubles is how to get on her nerves or how to strike a nerve with her. If y'all are going to always question my sobriety and my mental health, girl, I'm going to call you a poor, broke bitch. Because I know that's going to hurt your feelings. And you could tell it hurt Dorit's feelings because she ain't have no comeback. She started to shrink and being like, oh my God. And she thought people were going to defend her. But you notice, even though everybody at that table was appalled, because Garcelle was like, no. And then so then Bose's face was like, girl. And then what's her name? Kyle was like, No, I can't believe Sutton says that. But none of them said, oh no, Dorit got money. No, Sutton, you can't come at her money, because they all know that lady got money problems. We know that house is in foreclosure. We know her and PKB in so many lawsuits. I'm still irritated. No one brought to camera Dorit's business partner chasing her around the pool at that hotel because she was trying to serve her, because she was suing her over their, like, I guess their financial issues when it came to Beverly Beach. So Sutton calling that lady poor, she's doing it because she knows it's going to strike a nerve. And I'm irritated with this fake outrage, but I can't believe Sutton said that. That's so low. How is that low when Dorit's best friend or one of her little girlfriends in Fox Force 5, a.k.a. Lips, a.k.a. Lisa Rinna, basically accused the lady of having a crack house, saying that there was people in the bathroom doing cocaine. But she friends with her. What are we doing? I get it. You cannot like Sutton, but this mental gymnastics of trying to act like what she said was so horrible and egregious, when we all be on the internet calling Potomac poor Tomac, when people were starting to tap out of Atlanta because it got too relatable, because the girls weren't going on private jets or going on lavish vacations, weren't driving in cool cars anymore. The reason why people tuned into Miami is them girls got coin. We were all shook when we saw Dr. Nicole and Anthony get that yacht. That's a house note. Everyone was freaking out when Alexia got in that car in that all window elevator, and it went all the way up to her house. Like, let's not play them games. The whole point of Real Housewives is wealth. Ladies beyond the gate. And I get it. Y'all don't like Sutton, but y'all sound stupid to me. Trying to act like what she said was, oh my gosh, so horrible. But yet it's okay for Dorit to constantly insinuate that this lady is an alcoholic and question her mental health. All she called her was a broke, poor bitch. If you broke, say that. People was just clowning people online for not being able to afford Beyonce tickets. Girl, Lotto out here got a song called Brokies. Girl, bye. But y'all, everyone's kind of like quiet after the situation, like what Sutton said about her wallet. And everyone's like, that was kind of rude, Sutton. And Sutton is just kind of like, girl, I said it and I'm proud of it. It is what it is. So then Dorit was like, well, you were so rude and nasty to leave my house the way you did. You called me a bitch, and you were chastising Kyle for leaving. And so Sutton was like, girl, I left your house because the hostess didn't want me there. I just didn't sit in front of the house in bathrobes, girl. I was leaving because you didn't want me to be there. That's the difference. And she was like, you're right. I should have called you a fucking bitch. I said, ooh, Sutton. I said, Sutton said, girl, I'm over this. I'm over you. I'm over you. And everyone's just like, ooh, you got Bose going, And then Garcelle be like, mm-hmm. Jennifer Tilly is getting her life. She said, girl, Jennifer Tilly said, I know she wanted to be like, girl, that's my friend. That's my friend. And she was like, girl, I hope they don't start throwing food because this caviar is expensive. It's expensive. So then Dorit ends up being like, but I'm the one that's unwelcoming after Sutton said what she said. So then Kyle starts so then Garcelle was like, well, maybe you can apologize for what you said. So then Dorit apologizes, but the way she does it is very like, girl, I'm sorry, this. And so Sutton is like, ooh, so sincere. And there she's like, y'all, for real, I'm trying. Dorit's like, I'm trying. I said, girl, you're not trying hard enough. So then I think Kyle jumps in and she's like, what do you want from each other for this to be mulled over, for y'all to be able to move forward? And Sutton is like, girl, she ain't got nothing I need. I said, okay. Sutton said, Sutton said, I promise you, she has nothing that I want. I said, come on, Sutton. I said, girl, like I said, if you gonna be nasty, stand in it. And she sat there, and you could tell that Dorit didn't know how to respond to this. Nobody knew how to respond to that at that table. So then Dorit was just like, clearly she doesn't want to move forward with me. So then Dorit tries to get mad at Kyle, and Kyle's like, girl, I'm trying to help y'all move forward. Because Dorit feels like Kyle should be sticking up for her, but you notice ain't nobody at that table said anything to her. So then Faye Resnick kind of jumps in, and mind you, the whole entire time that Dorit was like, the whole entire time Sutton is looking at Dorit like this. Like it was a very like devious look. Like, yeah, bitch, I got your number. I got your card. I know that poor stuff hurts your feelings. That's where we going. That's where we gonna go. So then Faye Rexnick was like, they're tired of you being late to, pointing out Dorit being late at her party. And, I'm a drinker just like she is, but nobody wants to be judged by those things. So then Kyle's like, you know what, everybody, let's just move. So Kyle switches seats with Dorit. The caviar spuds come out. And so they're eating and they're talking, and next thing you know, Dorit gets up. Like I said, Dorit leaves the table. Kyle follows her. And Kyle basically says, yeah, she definitely on fire today, no doubt, talking about Sutton. So then Dorit says, I'm trying not to go low with her because that's where she resides. But Kyle, if I go low with her, I will eviscerate her. I said, no, you won't. Because if you wanted to, that was your prime opportunity and time to do so, but you did not do it because you don't have anything on Sutton. All y'all can talk about when it comes to Sutton is her looks. And then to try to act like her money isn't her money when Kyle, you hoping and praying, because I heard that slick stuff Kyle said on the after show. You are hoping and praying that Mauricio gives you half. Even though you deserve half because you've been there since the beginning. And Dorit is hoping and praying that PK got money somewhere that she can get to that ain't being collected by debt collectors. Okay? So let's not act like this. Let's not do that. Even Erica, girl, you're mad that man didn't have no money to give to you. You still complaining about the lifestyle you used to have. It's been 3 years. So let's not do that. Let's not do that, okay? The only self-made people there are Jennifer Tilly, Garcelle, and Bose. Everybody else got their money off of somebody else's back. And it's rightfully so because they was laying on their back, okay? Get paid for your work, ladies. So then she's just like, I need a break from her. I need a break from her. Dorita's like, she don't want to be around Sutton anymore. And Kyle's like, I understand. Then Kyle says, after going on that trip to Augusta, she now understands why Sutton don't like them alcoholic jokes. And I say, nobody would like them alcoholic jokes. Y'all not her friends like that. You can joke with certain people when y'all are friends like that. Y'all are not that lady's friend. So then they flash back to that whole situation. So then Dorit ends up saying when she balances out her meds and her pills, then we can have a conversation because Kyle suggested they have a one-on-one. So you doing the digs like that where you question her mental health and then you try to say she an alcoholic and you think the lady's not going to be nasty towards you? Are you serious, Dorit? Like, and see, the issue is Sutton don't care anymore. Like, when you get people, because Sutton definitely wanted to be accepted by these group of women, but I feel like at this point, she's like, you know what, especially when it comes to Dorit, which I wish she would be like this with Kyle, she like, I don't care. And when you meet people who used to be people pleasers who get into this role of like they don't care, they get nasty. And I feel like Sutton says, you know what, she don't care no more. It's pretty much screw you and your people. And I don't fault her for it. So I meant to expound upon my thoughts of when I said that all the girls can do is attack Sutton's looks. And I meant that more so about the fan base, saying that the reason why Sutton is mad at Dorit is because Dorit looks the way that she looks. Her face card is never declining. And she gonna get out here and get herself a fine, sexy man with money. And Sutton is still struggling because she looks the way she looks. Now, let's be honest. They live in superficial LA, Beverly Hills. And Sutton and Erica are the same age. And we know based off of the way that they look and they carry themselves, Sutton and Erica are not having the same dating experiences in LA. That's just a fact. And you could say Sutton is frumpy. You could say that she's unattractive. You could say all those things. But she's still wealthier than both of those two. And we know money comes and goes, but I don't think Sutton is stupid with her money. On top of that, for Dorit to be like, all Sutton has done is bought that horse. Girl, that horse, she can sell and make more money than you and PK probably have combined. Horse people are crazy and will spend money on them animals. She can sell that horse's sperm and make money. Breeding, there's so many things that she could do with that horse that you trying to throw shade at that you can't even do with the stuff you got going on, Dorit. What happened to Beverly Beach? When's the last time we seen Dorit put on a fashion show? So the her saying that she could eviscerate Sutton, if your digs are only about her looks and about her dating life, you don't really have nothing, because the dating pool, no matter what tax bracket you in, got piss and battery acid in it, girl. It sucks. And it's just, Dorit ain't landing. I'm waiting for Dorit to really stick it to Sutton for real. Because like I said, if Dorit's gonna continuously attack Sutton's sobriety and mental health, then I don't think it's that bad that she keeps calling her broken porn.
Part of the episode is all the information about Mauricio
is.
kissing up on some like IG model. And basically, we see everybody reacting to it. Sutton and Garcelle are talking about it. And Sutton pretty much feels like they're doing War of the Roses with the paparazzi. Like, Kyle was all out in the streets with Morgan. And now he's doing the same thing to get some get back. So we see Bose and, what's her name? Dorit talk about it. And Bose is like, that kiss gave that they've been talking to each other for a while. And Dorit said, yeah, it kind of hit me in the chest. So then we see Erica and Kyle talking, and pretty much Erica's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah. But all while they're talking, Kyle is kind of defending him, basically saying that like he didn't know the paparazzi was going to be there. Sutton feels like it was staged because she's been at that same airport, and she was like, that airport is tiny. Like, she was there with Jennifer Aniston and nobody was there. No paparazzi is there. And it's like, who is Mauricio for the paparazzi to follow him all the way to the Mykonos? That was get back for her being in the streets with Morgan. And it is what it is. Honestly, what I think happened is Mauricio been cheating for a long time. Kyle thought that, I'm a step away. He gonna miss me. And he decided, no, I don't. I like being in these streets, and we could get this divorce anytime soon. Or we could just be married with an open marriage and call it a day. Because honestly, I feel like that's what they doing right now. That's it, y'all. That is it. That is all. And as always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in them comments below and subscribe, like the video, and I'm out, y'all. Deuces.